Grocery gouge, as they're calling it, hitting everything from coffee to macaroni and cheese. Insider senior reporter Anya Kane is joining us now to help us break it all down. Anya, good morning to you. It's good to have you. So it looks like the grocery gouge is going to be hitting some of the main aisles next year. We've already been dealing with the price hikes, but what products specifically will be affected by this increase in 2022?
Hi, Whit. Thanks for having me. This is basically going to be everything at the grocery store. Everything from snacks to entrees, from coffee to condiments. There's no real escaping this grocery gouge at this point.
So we don't want people to start hoarding because that's a bad thing, bad for everybody. But do you have any idea of what foods will be first in line, first affected, so that we can actually plan ahead?
Absolutely. At this point, it's looking like fish, meat, eggs, dairy are going to be the first grocery gouge victims, unfortunately. And things like cereal and baby food are also on deck in terms of going up in terms of price.
So something we've heard from major supermarkets throughout 2021, they were stockpiling products earlier in the year, increasing their supplies. We're talking about things like cleaning products, flour, spices, where prices were low over the summer. Do you expect we will see more of that, and is this strategy a good thing for consumers?
Yes, absolutely. I think grocery stores, it's in their interest to potentially stockpile items in order to keep costs down, because that will engender loyalty from their shoppers, essentially. They'll keep going back if they're getting those great prices. And that, we've definitely heard that stockpiling is bad when individual consumers are doing it, because it basically worsens some of the supply chain issues we've been seeing. But when grocery stores are doing it, that could potentially benefit their consumers.
Got it. An important distinction there. You know, don't do your hoarding at your house. Hopefully the grocery store is stockpiling so that the supplies will be there when you need it. So what are your best tricks and tips for saving money at the store in the new year?
Absolutely. I think 2022 is going to be the year of the empowered, informed consumer. That means going into your shop with a game plan. If you're like me and you leave Target with a bunch of little tchotchkes and a decorative swan every time you go in, maybe it's time to start thinking about buying online and picking up in store where you have a little bit less temptation. And I would say also consider a membership at a warehouse where you can get wholesale prices and bulk prices. So Sam's, Costco, or BJ's, something like that.
That decorative swan at Target, it gets me every time. Anya Kane, thank you so much. We truly appreciate your tips and guidance this morning.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlight.
Yahbashim Yashab Barakatah. Shalom. Give all praise to Yahweh, Bashim Yashab, Bashim Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders, apostles for the edification of knowledge, and to Wadi Yahbashim Yashab for putting the spirit of elders and apostles so we can learn regarding this truth and knowledge. Call Yahbashim Yashab, Bashim Rakakadash. Give all praise to Yahweh, Bashim Yashab, Bashim Rakakadash. That was a video relating to grocery gouging, prices pretty much going up, anticipation of it for 2022. I'm gonna look up inflation, hyperinflation, some words. Because we in the precursors of inflation. Inflation, the action of inflating something or the condition of being inflated, like a balloon. So it's blowing it up, man. A general increase in prices and fall in the purchasing value of the dollar. The dollar weakens, everything gets increased, man. Let's look up hyperinflation. Monetary occurring at a very high rate. Continue. In economics, hyperinflation is very high, typically accelerating inflation. It quickly erodes the real value of the local currency as the prices of all goods increase. This causes people to minimize their holdings in the currency as they usually switch to a more stable foreign currency, such as the US dollar, which is losing its stability, which is losing its credibility. That's why they go into other forms of currency, man. At one time, the dollar was the man, but not so much, man. And that's what you're seeing. You're seeing the precursors of inflation. And you're going to see hyperinflation, super hyperinflation, because the value of the currency is declining, acceleratingly declining, man. Let's go to what other word? Price gouge. Price gouging definition. Price gouging occurs when seller increases the price of goods and services or commodities to a level much higher than is considerably reasonable or fair. So it's all about money, man. You know. So some people take advantage of so much for a situation, a crisis. I think one of the banking family said, "Never let a good crisis go to waste, man." And some people profit off these crises like that, and how they do it is increase the value, increase the prices in different things, man, to make money, to profit off of, man. And that's what you see, and that's what that price gouging, you know what I mean, going beyond what's reasonable and fair. Let's read that again. Price gouging occurs when a seller increases the prices of goods or services or commodities to a level much higher than considered reasonable or fair. A good example is at these gas stations, man. Usually, this event occurs after the demand or supply shock. Common examples include price increases of basic necessities after a natural disaster, for example, man, which would be a crisis, man. So never let a good crisis go to waste, man. Companies and different entities take advantage of these situations to what? Profit off of, man. Because it's all about, the bottom line is about the money, man. Let's go to a few scriptures. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. So things that were sown is going to be unsown. And the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. So these places that once were stocked up full or had a lot of things are becoming empty, man. And for example, that's the supply shortage, man. Different things you cannot get no more. Or is a scarcity of it. So that's that storehouse becoming to be that's going to become empty. And we in the precursors of that now, man. The bottleneck, where they have to back up and play catch up to get supplies to these stores, man. And with the limited supply, the supplies they have, they're gonna jump the prices up, man. So it's gonna cost more to buy certain goods, man. Like they were saying, for example, eggs, meats, dairy products, fruits, vegetables, different things, man. You've seen the increase of these things, man. It's going to come where it's going to be hard to get these things, man, after a while, man. And the things that they have on supply they're gonna increase the prices, man. And they're gonna have people hoard and try to hoard and get these things, man. And that's gonna cause a whole lot of chaos, man. You're seeing a lot of that, for example, with the toilet paper, man, and paper towels, man. So imagine on an intensive level, certain things are gonna happen, man. All these things with the storehouses becoming empty is gonna cause, in the shortages, the famine, limited supplies and different things, man. These people gonna act in a certain manner when they no longer can get certain things like they want. These people gonna go, they're gonna be, you're gonna see the true nature of them, in a matter of speaking. Let's go back again and read that previous verse. Shalakia, for the rambling. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, and the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. So these storehouses are slowly being found empty now, whether it could be manufacturally or just on the natural. You're seeing these storehouses becoming empty, man, which is going to lead to more things to happen, man. 23. And the trumpet shall give a sound, and when every man heareth, they shall suddenly be afraid. So that warning, man, that trumpet. People are going to be afraid when certain things come to manifestation, man. And at that time shall friends fight one another. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies. So friends are to become enemies in that times, man. When they need the victuals and supplies, 2nd Ezra 15:14 through 19. Isaiah 19:2, the Egyptian versus the Egyptian, modern day citizen versus the modern day citizen, man. Neighbor against neighbor, nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. That division. Think not that I come send peace on the earth, but nay, but division. That's Luke 12:51, man. Think not that I come to send peace, but a sword. Matthew 10:36, man. So that's part of that vision. These people are going to be set at odds with one another. And for example of that, if they can't get supplies, food and different other victuals and supplies, that's going to set people at odds against one another. That's this example. And these things are coming to pass, man, slowly but surely, man. 24. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. For many great misery shall happen in the latter times, because they walked in great pride. 2nd Ezra 8:50. So these people are going to be in fear when different types of things are going to be happening, manifesting. For the Lord is beginning to visit the world which He has made, man. Read it again. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. That's physical, actual water. Food, water. You're going to have famine of food. And that famine leads to other things that they did in ancient times. That's called cannibalism. 2nd Ezra 15 and let me see if I get it. I'll give you an example. Because they did this in ancient times. 2nd Ezra 15, I believe 2nd Ezra 15 and 58. I'm going to check it. This is 2nd Ezra 15 and 58. They that be in the mountain shall die of hunger. They're going to die of hunger. Why? Because there's a lack of food. And eat their own flesh and drink their own blood. For very hunger of bread, thirst, and water, man. That's cannibalism. That's going to happen, man. It happened in the ancient times. Nothing is new under the sun, man. So it's going to happen again. These things are going to manifest, man. This is something short relating to that script, relating to that video. I want to give all praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahshua Bashem Marquis.fambrough. Brother Zayal means wolf. Hope it helps in some way. Whoever listens, shalom. Thanks.